Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm whispering because I'm at the library. I'm gonna do a study session and I wanted to invite you to see if you wanted to come study or write with me this evening. It is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada and I'm actually surprised at how many students are in the library on a Sunday evening. Maybe some students are from away or they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but the number was actually quite interesting. I mean, there's a good number of folks here, which made me feel a little bit better because I've got lots going on academically, and I typically like to spend most of Thanksgiving weekend with my family. And I advise you to try to plan your life in a way that you can spend time with your family when you want to. That being said, there's going to be times in academic life when you're not able to, or you're going to have to make it like a little bit of sacrifices in terms of your time, and your family's going to understand. And so I thought one way that I could make this a more social experience would be to invite you to study with me this evening or write with me this evening and show solidarity with all of you who are having to do some of that on what is a long weekend here in Canada. The other reason why I'm doing this is because I came to the library earlier this afternoon and decided to try having someone's study with me. So there's these videos on YouTube called Study With Me where people will pretty much take a video of them studying, and I didn't really know what to think of it, but having someone studying with you can actually be quite motivating, and you might not always have someone around. And so I turned on one of the videos on my iPad while I was working on my computer, and surprisingly I found that actually quite helpful. It helped to kind of further motivate me, keep me on task. And so I was wondering, is this something that doctoral students would find helpful in any way, shape, or form? So I'm just going to try it out this evening. I'm recording on my iPad. I'll upload it at a later time. What I really want to demonstrate this evening is the Pomodoro concept, which I know many of you are familiar with. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be studying intently or writing intently for about 25 minutes, taking a break, and then doing another 25 minutes, okay? And I'm going to show you some of the things that I use to help me make the most of those 25-minute spurts. So that's what we're going to do this evening. If you already know about that, then I invite you to join me and read, write, study, do whatever you need to do this evening, okay? So with that, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 25 minutes on my iPhone using the Forest app. This is a fun little app. It's again called Forest, and many of you already know about it, but if you don't, what you basically do is you press this button and it will plant a metaphorical tree in a plot for 25 minutes. If you leave your phone, then the tree will die. So there's some encouragement to not have that happen, and sort of the goal is over the course of a week, a month, to see as many trees as you can in your plot, because that gives you a sense of how much focused time you spend on something like studying, okay? So that's what we're going to do. The other thing is that I've made myself a cup of tea in this lovely mug. Thank you, Mom, for this mug. We're actually trying out a pumpkin spice tea for the very first time. I've never had pumpkin spice tea. The great thing about it, though, is that it's decaf and it's the evening here, so I'm looking forward to enjoying that. So I know you're eager to write. Let's do this. 25 minutes on the clock, and we'll go now. The first thing I'm doing is actually writing down a to-do list for what I hope to accomplish within reason in the next 25 minutes. First thing I have to do is send an email to my supervisor. Here goes. just under 12 minutes, or just under 13 minutes left. Okay, so I just finished sending actually 2 emails to my supervisor. I actually applied to one that he sent, and I sort of just wanted to keep that in conversation, and sent him a new email with an update on all things dissertation. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going back to a project that I haven't worked on in a little bit, and so I actually right now just need to review to see what I've done so far, so it's back fresh in my memory and I can determine my next steps. So you might not see as much typing, but there's lots of reading going on the screen. And I might turn on some music. The reason why I'm using my headphones is because, well, first of all, I typically study with these headphones. I find that they're noise canceling and they really help me to focus. But the other thing being that I can't play music on YouTube that's not that's copyrighted. So if I listen to it here, then my video will be okay. just like that, folks, our tree has grown. You've got 9 coins, I guess, or points that you can then use to do a couple of things. First of all, you can purchase other tree species to plant in your little plot, or you can actually use, I think, 3,000 of them or something like that to donate a tree to a place in the world where trees are needed. So, and I think you can donate up to 5 when you download the app. So there you go. Okay. So we're now going to take a little break. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and I encourage you to do whatever you feel like you want to do. You might want to get up and stretch. You might want to read. I'd encourage you to get away from the screen for the 5 minutes. So anything that doesn't involve a screen for 5 minutes, although like if you really want to do something with a screen, that's totally fine. But it's good to give your eyes a break. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put a little timer on. For 5 minutes. And I will let you know, well, I guess the timer will let us know when we're done. Okay, so the 5 minutes starts now. we're done. So during the break, I was reading this book, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And I've read some of the content before, but I wanted to reread it. It's a really great book to just really think about, what are some ways that you can be thinking and things that you can be doing to be all you can be on a daily basis. And so I'm rereading this because I enjoyed it. So now we're going to get started on our next 25 minutes Pomodoro. Let me know in the comment section actually what you did during your 5-minute break. Okay, computer back up. So the whole idea of the Pomodoro method is that you work for a time period that our brains tend to be able to focus for pretty well. So as humans, we tend to be pretty decent at focusing for 25 minutes. When you go too much longer, everyone's different. But for a lot of people, if they go too much longer, that's when their focus starts to drop. And so the idea being that you focus for that amount of time on a task that you've stated up front, then you take a break to refresh your brain, and that's why, I closed my screen and did some reading, and then you do another 25 minutes. And typically people will do up to sort of 5 25-minute rounds, maybe 6 even, in a given Pomodoro set, and then they'll take a much longer break, maybe half an hour or something like that. And then if they have the time, they'll choose to come back and do sort of another round of all of that. So that's sort of what the Pomodoro method is. And let's get back to Forrest. Okay, so if you want to see our tree from the last time, there he is, or she, or they. There's our tree, and we're going to add another one to that plot. So here we go. I'm going to continue doing what I was doing, which is just kind of going over what I did on this project in the past. And I was already making some edits to it as I was going through it. So anyways, good luck on whatever you're working on. Let me know in the comments what you're working on during this hour. And yeah, I just would love to know in my community what people are up to. Good luck. 6 minutes left. that's it, folks. So I just concentrated on redoing a paragraph in a section of the project that I've been working on for the past 25 minutes. I don't know if you agree, but I think the 25-minute intervals go by pretty quickly. It's hard to believe that, that was 25 minutes, but here we are. So I'll show you on the plot, you'll see a second tree now. Yeah, so again, if you'd like to download this app, it's called Forest. Myself and a number of other graduate students in my program really enjoy using this one. So this is one of several that you can use, but it's just one. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed studying this evening. This is just an experiment. I wanted to see if anyone would enjoy it. So please let me know in the comment section if you found it helpful to have a study buddy this evening. I know that I felt that having you, even though you haven't even seen this video yet, but knowing that this is something that you're going to be there at a later point in time, it actually sort of helped me feel a little bit, helped me stay on task, but just to also feel a sense of company this evening. And I might do another one of these if you like it. So anyways, in the meantime, for those of you in Canada, wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving, and I'm going to sign off and get back to work. In the meantime, have a beautiful and productive week. Bye.